I'm gonna piss some people off in this video and I really don't care. Um, so I had this situation brought to me from a sister in the comment section. I had no idea what she was talking about when she asked me if I found out about the Travis Scott situation. So I went on YouTube and I looked it up, and to pretty much sum it up, he just recently had this huge concert that was appeared to be ritualistic and 8 people died. I have so many like varying opinions on this. My first immediate thought, and this is the part that may upset some people, I really don't care. It's my channel, my platform, it's my opinion. You can disagree if you want to. But I also just want to say I really do see things like this in a very general perspective because I just have an understanding, and I feel like if you're living an unrighteous lifestyle and you choose darkness over light, then you should expect for these kind of things to happen to you. So my sympathy card is very low, to be completely honest. Like, I didn't really feel any way about it when I was kind of watching it. I'm just like, oh, okay, another ritual concert. You put yourself in that situation. I'm going to get into it a little bit deeper, but that's just kind of how I felt about it on the onset. I'm not saying that it's not unfortunate that these kind of deaths and stuff happen. And I've been speaking like this for a very long time. I feel this way. I felt this way towards the whole these deaths that keep happening to our people, for example, black people, and then all these, race wars and stuff that comes out about that. I think I've spoken in the past, like, and I like to kind of see things from father's perspective and layers according to wisdom. We don't know these people's hearts. We pull out these sympathy cards for people when somebody dies. Like, this could have been this person's judgment. This person could have been living a wicked lifestyle. And just because somebody dies, everybody wants to pull out the sympathy card. They want to start crying and yell victim and scream justice. And it's just like, are we just going to completely ignore that this could have possibly been this person's judgment? You don't know this person. All we know is that they died. People die every day. So, forgive me. I always give myself some space to be corrected by the Father, because perhaps I'm just calloused. I really don't know. Like, I don't feel immediate sympathy towards situations like this because I do have that kind of perspective. I feel like, number one, I'm not a bandwagon type of person. I don't jump on bandwagons because I do think like that. Who was this person? What kind of lifestyle were they living? How do we know that this is not Father's judgment upon them? I'm not going to be triggered to have sympathy towards a situation when I don't really understand fully what's going on. I don't know who they are. Yeah, the situation could be sad, and the way that you're giving it to me could be sad, but that's just how I see stuff. And with stuff like this, like the Travis Scott concert, number one, my immediate feelings towards this, and this is me watching a few videos. Now that I have an understand, I don't even know who Travis Scott is. I know he dates Kylie. I know what he looks like. I've never heard his music in my life. So I had to kind of like watch a few YouTube clips to get an understanding of like what really happened, what kind of music he makes, what kind of music was playing at his concert. And honestly, you guys, I feel like, forgive me for being calloused, I'm sorry. So you know what kind of music this guy makes. I still haven't listened to a song even after looking into this stuff. You know what kind of music he makes. You're a fan. Supposedly, this particular concert was actually meant to birth chaos and destruction. I think he named it like dystopia or something. So he's already channeling that kind of energy and those kind of spirits. So you intentionally went to a concert knowing that the atmosphere was going to be set with chaos or rowdiness, and this kind of anything can happen basically, and you ended up getting killed. I'm sorry, I do not feel bad about that at all. I really literally do just see this as people in the world, they love darkness, they love wickedness. You're clearly not living a righteous lifestyle if you're listening to Travis Scott. So if what they're saying, what I've seen in the videos is true, that he has music that's kind of like punk rockish. I think it's what they were saying, like mosh pitish. I'm like, okay, nobody goes to a rock concert or a mosh pit concert or where that type of energy is and You're not expecting something to pop off. You may not go there expecting to die necessarily, but it's not like you're going to listen to an R&B singer. Like you're not going there to be melancholy and to get in your emotions. It's not that kind of music, So just off the top, no disrespect to the dead at all. I don't feel any sympathy towards that situation whatsoever. I don't know those people. I know the age ranges is from teenage up to 27. So a 27-year-old died. I'm just like, well, what do you expect when you play in Satan's playground? That's how I see stuff. And then on top of that, I'm going to tell you something. I would never admittedly attend someone's music concert who I have seen with my own eyes use any kind of MK Ultra or Illuminati symbolism in any of their art or any of their photo shoots or anything. Their music is cursed. They're being used as a witch and a wizard, and they're casting spells on you. That's most musicians today. I would never go to that person's concert without being covered by the blood of Jesus, period. And he would have to send me there. So, just kind of leading you to why I feel the way I feel, I literally feel zero sympathy. I really don't. It's a concert. You should expect things like that to happen, especially given the nature of the artist, what they sing about. I have never listened to Travis Scott's music, so I don't know what his music sounds like. From what I'm hearing in the videos, it's a lot of hype. Things get crazy. He's telling you to get crazy. I also learned from a video that he has a history of telling his fans to do dangerous things at concerts, and they actually leave paralyzed and maimed. So the reason why I don't really care or feel bad at all about this situation is, number one, like I said, the most general sense for me. You're already on a path of darkness and you're playing around in Satan's territory. You should expect things like this to happen. It's just that people don't think it would happen to them. And secondly, the environment that's set, the kind of atmosphere, once again, you walked into that danger, you walked into that risk. It just happened to be you that night that got killed. I don't feel sorry for stuff like that. Now, on the satanic side, do I think it was a ritual? Of course. It looks like one. I don't see why it wouldn't be one. I don't put anything past any musician at this point. I 100% believe they were sacrifices. I 100% believe it was a ritual. I 100% believe it was intentional on Travis's part. I don't think he cared. That was showing the video that he didn't care. So once again, I want to say this, and this is actually why I'm doing this video. With all the information that has come out about music artists and stuff and the Illuminati and all of this stuff that they're being used to do, if you know this, you have a responsibility in and of yourself to discontinue listening to these people's music and supporting them. So even if you don't believe it, the Lord has made it to where you've heard it. So you can't say that he didn't make you aware. So I feel like I don't put anything past musicians to do something like that, since I'm pretty sure they teach them behind the scenes how concerts work as far as rituals and choreography and stuff like that, using the fans as energy. So I don't really trust them. You're there for them to get a bag, basically. These people do not care about you at all. So I feel like having that understanding, walking into that kind of atmosphere with a celebrity, at least in my mind, that's how I would see it. This person does not care about me. They don't know me. They most likely are involved in some dark things, and I'm contributing to that, opening myself up to whatever that demonic portal is, and also helping them benefit from it. So I just feel like from that point on, you should just expect celebrities to do stuff like that. And it's your responsibility at that point to protect yourself. Now, if you still want to be the gullible little lamb or gullible sheep and attend the person's concert, continue listening to their music anyway, and you get yourself killed, that's your fault. That's how I feel about that. I don't want to put too much energy in the whole sacrifice conversation, because I'm like, well, yeah, duh. Like, I mean, you have the witnesses themselves who were there on camera saying that it felt like a concert in hell, and these people aren't even saved. Out of the mouth of two or three witnesses, they're saying that themselves. They were the ones who were actually there to experience and feel that kind of energy and the spirits that were there in that place, seeing dead bodies and they're saying that. I'm happy. The only thing I feel positively from this situation is I'm happy that the people that actually experienced that, that Father actually gave grace to get out of that situation and came back to tell about it, that they're testifying to you the reality of the spirit that's behind this music industry. And Travis Scott himself as well, who, for respect of an acronym, is a POS. That's how I feel about him. I don't know this man. I've never listened to Travis Scott. If I ever saw him in life, actually, I can't say that because Holy Spirit probably wouldn't let me say it. But that's what I was thinking as I was watching these videos, and I kept repeatedly seeing how this man continued to perform. He did not care who was in danger at his concert. I'm going to touch on that in a few minutes. He is a POS, literally. Drake as well. No respect for Drake. I think they should all be canceled. Since there's this whole cancel culture in the secular community, yeah, that's the people that y'all need to cancel right there. I wouldn't be surprised if they're not canceled because I'm aware of the video I did a few months ago. I still stand by this. This world is literally full of mind-controlled zombies. You still have people who will blindly worship and idolize these idiots. So they may not be canceled. They're still going to be supported. They're still going to support their music. Even after this, you would think a public spectacle like this would like outrage the entire world towards this artist. After this situation, he should never ever be permitted to make music again. Like, he should be canceled. And take Drake off too, because he's trash as well. He was right up there with them. You can see in the audience that there's ambulances moving and making their way, trying to. I'm just like, I have so many opinions about this because I'm just like, I tried to put myself in, see it from every angle. If I was a celebrity and I was performing, I do get the concept of the show must go on to a degree. I feel like people, I don't think you should just be so caught up in like performance mode that you don't care about somebody else's life. It really just depends on where that artist's head is, to be honest. Like if it's an artist who's like relatable with their fans, like somebody who's really personable and someone possibly got hurt, the most I would do personally, and this is me taking into account that there's over 70,000 people. So I understand how to the artist it could seem a bit unrealistic, and this is not me defending or justifying Travis at all. I still think he's a POS, period. But I do understand how it can be a bit unrealistic to just stop the whole show just because a few people may be injured. It's very likely that he may have just thought that it was just that. Given the nature of his music, given the nature of the atmosphere and how rowdy people get, maybe he didn't think someone was actually dying. Maybe they just hurt themselves. So that is very true. If you're a big artist and the audience is huge like that, you're not going to stop your concert. Now, as far as what he knew and how much he knew, that's up for conversation. I don't know that's basically the common denominator of all of that. But I saw one girl, she did a video vlog on this, and she was actually showing clips of other celebrities in their concerts who, when somebody got hurt in their concert, they actually stopped the show. And they were actually telling people to go assist whoever it was that passed out or, talking to them like a normal person. I'm like, well, exactly. I'm like, I appreciate that. So, I mean, with stuff like that, as far as like, he's going to be responsible regardless, because I just feel like, I just kind of saw it if it was me. Like, if I had 70,000 people that came to see me, number one, you're here for me. I feel like even though it's just me as one person who's performing for you, I do feel a sense of responsibility over your life and over your safety. So I would already had that set up from jump. But if I could visibly see that somebody was hurt, I'm petty. I actually am that person who would like throw in a lyric, check out that person in the back, y'all. Like I would do something like that. And but they also had people in the video. They had people that were climbing up and they were speaking to the people that were on the set to stop the music. Somebody was hurt. So I don't know. I have like 20 different thoughts because I try to see things from every from every angle with stuff. I think the situation, aside from like the spiritual stuff, that's just it is what it is. But I think it just depends on the artist. I think it depends on the personality, the character of the person, because they are still just people. Despite them being a musician and a celebrity, they're just people. Travis Scott could just be that POS black dude who just don't give a crap. So you're kind of shortchanged in that regard because you're worshiping somebody or you're here to see someone's concert who their character as a person, they may not care like that. Versus another celebrity or another musician who probably does care about stuff like that, they may have gotten more involved. So it just, it's unfortunate that Travis may just be one of those people who he just want his money. Which that's the case for a lot of rappers in this generation. They're all POSs. They're not talented. They don't really have anything to offer. Whether they sold themselves out to the enemy or not, that's besides the point. But I mean, this is the kind of people that you're that you're uplifting and putting on a pedestal. I hope that's the main message that comes out of this. Aside from the obvious satanic mess that's attached to it, because it was very much ritualistic. I definitely think those people were sacrificed. That's why he didn't do anything about it. But I just want people to kind of take a step back who listens to these trash artists. I don't even know what Travis Scott sounds like. I just knew that he dated Kylie Jenner. He has a child with her. And just from looking at him, not to be shallow, I would just look at Travis Scott and I'm just like, he's not attractive. He likely just makes trash music like any other black rapper in this generation who's not really talented. You just kind of got on making mumble rap or something. That's what I thought about him. So, I mean, I hope that people at least take out of this situation, like, this is who y'all made famous. Eat it. That's why I say I don't feel bad. This guy likely makes trash music. This is what I'm talking about. That's like, I wouldn't be surprised if, what's that little dude name? He's not nearly as famous as Travis Scott by any means, but what's the little dude with them dreads? He got them nasty looking dreads. I don't know what I don't know what that guy's name is, but I cannot think of his name. Chief Keef, yes. I wouldn't be surprised if Chief Keef did something like this. And I'm just saying because it's the quality of the individual. They just so happen to be a popular celebrity musician. And y'all are the ones who make these people famous. And you want to get heartbroken and throw out all these sympathy cards when stuff like this happens and they don't want to take responsibility because they don't care. Well, look at what kind of music they make. They're likely not even articulate people. Like they probably suck. They're not really good writers. I don't like black rappers in this generation. Not that I care for rap to begin with, but I do appreciate genuine lyricists. I can tell people who actually have the gift and the talent. People in this generation, I just be looking at them like why do they just sound like some dumb slaves? Like I feel like they make people famous to make a joke out of black people. Because that's what y'all sound like. It's like they already look kind of stupid and slow. Like they just be getting on, like him, like he has plaits in his head. Like who's still doing that? Like that's a 90s thing. Like Snoop Dogg was doing that. So I already don't like them. I don't really understand the quality of rappers that we have today and why people are so drawn to these individuals. But I mean, it doesn't surprise me that they don't care about somebody dying at their concert. They're not bright people to begin with. Not to be insulting, but I really do think that y'all are just made famous, to make the masses dumb and to keep them distracted because you're dumb. That hurts your feelings. I really don't care. It is what it is. So I don't feel bad for the people who died because you willfully attended this person's concert who is very base, probably is a trash individual in character. Their music likely sucks, which means that you have a bad taste in music. And this is the person who you trusted with your livelihood and your safety for a night. And it's unfortunate that you ended up dying. Okay. I mean, and then on top of that, I did see a picture where he was doing like some one eye symbolism. Like I said, my personal opinion, you're not gonna catch me at nobody's concert who has admittedly been seen doing these things, whether it was for promo or just a part of their music. I don't care who made you do it. Whether it came from the heart because you're involved in something you ain't got no business being involved in, or somebody told you to do it. I don't trust any of that person's work. Their work is completely controlled and manipulated behind the scenes. I assume from that point on that you are doing witchcraft. I would not be at your concert to begin with. So it's people like this who purposely pass off any conversation of these people having any Illuminati attachments. They just throw that whole conversation away. They don't want to accept the fact that their favorite rapper is literally doing devil signs, has satanic imagery in their concerts, in their cover art, in their music, because you just want to live life. You don't want to, take things too seriously. It's not that deep. Well, now it is that deep because you 6 feet deep. So now it has to be deep for you because you're dead or your friend is dead. And these are the people that y'all are worshiping. They're trash. And even aside from the spiritual aspect, I'm just like, seriously, find better music. And if you're going to listen to rap, I don't even listen to rap, but it's like, why aren't y'all listening to like authentic lyricists, like people that can actually rap that make quality music of substance? You're listening to this. What is this doing for your brain? And you want me to feel bad when you perish. You chose destruction. That has nothing to do with me. It's like, I mean, there's no point in having this conversation of just like, this sympathy card. Oh, it's so unfortunate, but they died. But people die every day. People who choose destruction and choose to reject the Lord, choose to reject a righteous lifestyle, die every day. And warning comes before destruction. You don't think Jehovah at some point, maybe a couple weeks or months prior, warned this person to some degree because he knew that they were going to perish that night and they ignored whatever that counsel was? Continued on with their merry life and went to this Travis Scott concert and met their death, met their end? Sympathy for what? Sympathy when Jesus says they love darkness more than they love light. Basically, people love unrighteousness. You are following unrighteousness. I don't know what he talks about in his music. I'm sure it's the same trash that everybody else talks about. That was already in your heart. You were a disciple before you perished. You put your life and your safety in his hands. You were playing in the devil's territory. You ate the fruit of your way. It's just as simple as that for me. Now, child, I'm happy for the people that Father has pulled out to warn and to testify, because I think that was intentional on Jehovah's part. I do think that they likely may not get canceled as musicians. I'm sure they'll lose a lot of respect from people, but people are still idiots. So they're still going to follow these people. This is going to pass like everything else does that happens, and they're going to put out a new album. They're going to keep listening. Like after this, I don't even listen to Drake. I would cancel Drake personally in the secular community after this situation because you know better. He up there dancing and performing with Travis Scott. I'm just like, you basically like the big brother of this organization. It's just like you were just as much accountable and responsible as this guy was. Screw Drake. Screw both of y'all. As a fan and as somebody who's supporting somebody else's music and you are literally contributing to the financial gain of this artist by paying to get a ticket to go see them perform, where they were comfortable with the death and destruction of your peers around you, I would never support that person again. I would lose all respect for them as an individual. I don't care how good their music was. They're trash. And this is the issue with this whole R. Kelly conversation. You still have idiots that are saying, oh, I'ma still listen to R. Kelly music. I'ma still listen to R. Kelly. They ain't got nothing to do with what he did to them, girl. He makes some good music. He makes some good music. Oh, Travis Scott let all them people die, but he makes some good music. Oh my God. Just, oh Lord Jesus. I just hope that people have enough common sense, at least as a fan of this guy, whoever the people are, see this situation for what it was. This guy had multiple people die in front of him. He had people, he was alerted that people were in danger or there was harm taking place, and he had an opportunity to stop it and show you that he cared about you, and he did not care. He did not stop it. He let you die. 5,000 of you could have died, and Travis Scott would not have cared. So aside from the satanic spiritual conversation of was it a sacrifice? Well, yeah, it was a sacrifice, of course, whatever, but nobody's actually going to go that deep with it. So we have to kind of stick, with the base people who, even just on in a very simplistic sense, the guy should not be respected because of the kind of person that he is. He had responsibility over his environment that he created. He contributed to the energy that was in that place, telling people to get crazier, even when people were already maimed and harmed and in danger. He does not value or care about your life. So not only is he a trash artist, trash hairstylist, whoever's doing his hair, trash musician, he's a trash person. Are we still going to continue supporting people in the sake of music? No. If anybody should ever be canceled, it should be that whole cancel culture stuff. He needs to go. This is completely unacceptable. Like, that's honestly like what was running through my mind the entire time is POS. If I wasn't a Christian, I would really, the flesh part of me, if I ever saw Travis Scott in real life, like I would throw like a cup of piss on him. Honestly, he's trash. You are trash. And it makes me angry that we live in a world where just because you're a celebrity and you're on some type of pedestal or you have some type of notoriety that you can actually get away with stuff like this. If this was like a common dude, do you know like if Travis Scott was your average Joe and threw a house party with a whole bunch of people and like somebody's cousins from the hood died at Travis Scott's party, do you know this guy would get jumped? He would get killed. But because he's a celebrity, oh, I'm not, I'm so devastated. I feel so bad. Whatever, stupid apology he gave in the video, everybody's going to continue to pray. It's just like everybody's praise towards celebrities is because of their music. I just find that so strange. What about who they are as an individual? If he was your common Joe and this happened at a house party that he threw, and people's relatives, significant others, and loved ones found out that their loved ones died at Travis Scott's house party, and he knew, and he didn't do anything to help them drowning in the pool, he would be found, he would be dismembered, he would be shot up, he and his family would be killed. So this goes beyond cancel culture. What he did was beyond offensive. That's disgusting. We don't even need to talk about the satanic stuff yet. Like, seriously, this dude was told how many times. I've watched so many different videos that people took, and he just stood there and he just kept performing. Get them people their money back. I hope he does get sued. Let Jehovah judge. But I mean, it was brought to me on my channel. I looked into it. I'm just like, I wasn't surprised. I did not feel sympathy. I don't feel sympathy towards that's not where my passion is in this video, because I feel like the only word I have to give towards that, as far as the people who actually perished, number one, you were already perishing. Scripture says that. So, whatever. The parents of the children who listen to this trash music. My encouragement and my word would just be, we can't control what these artists do. We cannot control what they're a part of. They really only care about their money and whatever it is they're trying to gain from this business. At this point, like I said, you really do just have to be responsible for your own spirit. Because when they get to a certain point, they'll do anything to get famous. They'll do anything to get more money, even at the cost of your own life. They don't care. So you can expose what this artist is doing. I mean, this stuff has been going on for over a decade at this point, and people are still listening to this music. They don't care if they're a Satanist. People are still listening to what's a little dude's name? Lil Nas X, who's so blatant, And that's why I say we're in a generation where somebody can outrightly show you that they are disciples of Satan, and you just pass it off as, oh, he's just a troll, he's just playing. And it's like, what does this guy have to do to convince you that he's not playing? He's not. So this is why I say I don't feel bad for these kinds of people. They choose darkness. This is the kind of wicked where the Lord Jesus could manifest himself. You could have Satan manifest on the opposite side, and they will find a way to convince themselves and excuse the entire situation. Say, nope, nope, that's not God. Nope, this is not real. This is just for show. It's a part of the performance. Like I refuse to believe. It's like, okay, well, perish. I don't feel bad for you. Perish. That's why they're comfortable doing this dark, devilish stuff now, because y'all are idiots. And then when you die, you went into Satan's territory, and then you died. You want people to feel sorry for you. Feel sorry for what? And then let's talk about this rock concert. I don't know what kind of music he makes. They say that it is that type of like, hyped up kind of crazy energy. I went to a rock concert once. I think it was 15 with my 15th birthday, when I was in my whole little gothic punk rock phase. My favorite band, Korn, which is a heavy metal band, came to Beaumont, Texas. I got dressed in all black, the way I used to dress, and that was actually in Lamar University's auditorium center. So it was not like a huge, huge concert, but I did go. And what I experienced that night wasn't even nearly as big as Travis Scott's or any other celebrity. It was so much chaos and disorder. I was trampled on in that concert, and it was my first concert. I was a teenager. I was just so excited that Korn actually came to Texas. I thought nobody would ever come to Texas, in Beaumont of all places, but they came. And I put on like these cute little short, black heels. They weren't anything high, and I just wanted to go see Korn. And of course, I was completely out of place. It was a lot of white people there. But there were people who were literally out of their minds. And I know that people say, like, maybe it could have been drugs. I'm not denying that they weren't drunk or high, but I just remember seeing some people's eyes like it was something else, like they were not there. There were women flashing, they were on men's shoulders, flashing everybody in the crowd, flashing Corn. And there was a point where I dropped my MP3, or I dropped my phone, and I was getting trampled over. Like, people were literally, especially them white people, honey. When you want to talk about rock and heavy metal and stuff like that, they get crazy. They actually do the mosh pits and all that stuff. So there was a point where I was getting tossed around and stuff, and I wasn't even thinking about Corn no more. I was just thinking like, oh my God, like, because you couldn't see anybody. I was on the floor and all I saw was legs. It was actually a guy, and I think that was by the grace of God, because I had just gotten saved. I think some white dude, he like helped me get up. And some lady, I just remember this lady saying to me, she's like, "Oh, you got the wrong shoes on for this, honey," because I had on some heels. But the guy, he like, I think he put me on his shoulders or something. But yeah, I'm like 70,000 people at Travis's concert, and if it was that kind of energy compared to that little bitty concert that I was at, I wouldn't say I almost died, but it was definitely like uncomfortable. It was dangerous enough. But I just kind of see it as like, I mean, when you put yourself in that situation, you went to a rock concert, people who are already demon possessed. And then on top of the demon possession, they're taking drugs, smoking weed, drinking, popping pills, probably did some cocaine. It's Beaumont, Texas. Corn coming to Beaumont, Texas. All them white people got crazy, honey. Everybody was up in there. So ain't nobody thinking about your life. They're here to get their life. Okay, you die. That just adds to the energy. That just adds to the fanatics of it all. So that's why I say, okay, when I look at their deaths, I'm just like, what were you expecting? 70,000, they said it was 70,000 people at his concert. And if that's what kind of music it was, they were already kind of crazy. Okay, so number one, it's a ghetto trash black rapper. There's people gonna be high, people gonna be drunk, people gonna be off mollies and everything else. Like, you literally put yourself into a sea of demonized people who don't know you, don't have any care or thought for your life. Even if you were perishing for air on the floor, They don't care. They would step on you just to get a little closer to see Travis. Like, I mean, that's why I say, like, I don't feel bad about stuff like that. You put yourself in that situation. You just didn't know or think that you was gonna die that night. So if you love darkness and you want to pursue darkness and chase darkness with other vessels and disciples of it, you will eat the fruit of your way. Of course, we can all agree that it's unfortunate. Well, it's unfortunate for anybody to go to hell. That don't mean that it's not fair if they went there. I only care about parents, just because I was trying to find some sympathy in the situation, and I was like, well, Brian, what if that was like your kid, or one of your loved ones who went there? Well, I did think about that. Then I said, well, my son wouldn't be at a Travis Scott concert. To be completely honest, my son wouldn't be there. And secondly, if I knew a loved one, I have a loved one who perished in 2012, my best friend who died. I actually ministered to him 3 weeks before he died. He had a choice to listen to his friend, who he knew was a Christian, before he went on about his way, after sharing with me that Jesus came to him in a dream and told him to stop fornicating with his girlfriend. And he wasn't even saved yet and had a supernatural vision like that from the Lord. It was telling me about it. And 3 weeks later, he dies. My sympathy, was I heartbroken? Of course I'm heartbroken because I love my friend, but at the same time, who's to say if that conversation that you had with him wasn't ordained by the Father to be his last warning? And he maybe already decided in his heart, I want to play in the world a little bit longer. Well, I don't really want to be serious about God like that. And maybe Father is trying to, you don't know these people's lives. It's just like, I'm sure on some level Father sees it as unfortunate too, but at the same time, God is not mocked. Y'all choose this stuff. Y'all choose this kind of energy, these kind of spirits. You listen to this trash music, and you're playing in Satan's territory. You're not covered. It could be you, it could be somebody else. So yeah, I mean, it's unfortunate. I mean, I saw some videos where I heard one girl who was like screaming like, help me. And I'm just like, you know, I think this should just be a lesson for the people themselves. I'm so happy that there's so many young people who are doing vlogs about their experience at that Astro World concert, telling you it was demonic. They're never going back to a concert. Like, I think that's what God wants. I'm so happy that they are doing that. Hopefully, honestly, that leads them to Christ. But, and this is not even just Travis Scott. This could have been anybody's concert. This could have been anyone. These people don't care about you. And this is time for you to examine, like, what are you doing with your life? What kind of spirit are you opening yourself up to by listening to garbage like this? They could be the most satanic person ever. You're still responsible for your own life. If you choose to open yourself up to these musicians, and you choose to attend this kind of environment and this kind of stuff going on, you're responsible for your death. They're still a POS for not caring. They are partially responsible for creating the environment in which you died, but I mean, I'm sorry. I'm sorry if y'all don't like my answer for that. That's honestly just how I see everything. The Father said, choose life or death. They chose death. It just came sooner than they thought it would come. But I think parents just need to, teenagers were there. Same thing for me. My mom, it doesn't matter now. I would never let my child, I just want to say, just be mindful over what your children are listening to. I feel like a lot of parents, they just try to be hip in this generation and just kind of let their kids just, experience being cool. And I'm not saying keep your child sheltered. I just feel like I don't have to hear that the musician is a Satanist, for me to protect my child from certain things. Like, I'm going to pay attention to what your lyrics are talking about. There's, like, for example, there's this rock music I used to play. I think it was this artist named Dr. Acula when I was a teenager. And my mom just told me one day, she said, every time you play that Dr. Acula rock music, I feel a dark presence in this house. And of course, this is something I could have been blinded to because I was just rocking out, in the house. But she brought that up to me, and I think from that point on, I don't think she made me stop listening to it, but I think after she said that, I was a little bit more mindful. But I think a large part of the problem, since I feel like rappers like Travis Scott, they may attract like a younger audience. Just start being real parents. Stop letting your kids just watch anything. Stop letting them just listen to anything. There's a lot of good music out there, y'all. And I know that, as far as the Christian community, we may not be looking for secular music, but I just feel like if that's what you're going to listen to, there's so much quality rap music that talks about substance. I just don't understand people's attraction to rappers like him. I understand something sounding good and all that, but most of the time that's just a hypnosis factor to kind of get your mind blanked out to put whatever trash that they're spewing out through their music into your mind. So you got to be careful with that sound stuff. I don't like that music has gone from being about, its substance and just meaning and love and romance and just, special relationships and life to just, what sounds good, what feels good. Like I love a good melody and a good harmony and all that good stuff, but what they make today is not music. Like there was a video where even after people had died, he was like standing up and he's I'm sorry, don't laugh at me. He's literally like standing up with his plaits in his head. He's in a microphone with what do they call that? The auto tune. He's like and I'm just like, what is he doing? I'm like, is he high? Like, is he demon possessed? Like, he's literally just standing there. Just, I think the microphone is automatically like auto tune. People are perishing, and he's just, and just okay, child. I feel like because the days are getting darker and these demonic spirits are continuously being released. Like I said, at this point, we're not denying that the celebrities is witches anymore. It is what it is. That's not even hidden. You got to be responsible for your own life now. Now that we know we got witches and wizards out here who's trying to ensnare me just to get a bag and just they're basically sacrificing their fans. Whatever musician you listen to that has covenanted and agreed behind the scenes to ensnare your soul and to deceive you and to make garbage music at your sake and at your mercy just for them to get a come up, that's a sacrifice. You don't have to die. You're already being sacrificed. And you're following these people. So I don't even put it past any musician anymore of what they could be doing. I just feel like at this point, well, now I just got to be responsible of who I choose to listen to. And after me seeing something like that, I've never heard Travis Scott's music a day in my life. I don't listen to Drake, obviously. I've lost respect for him. Until the day he actually comes out sincerely repenting and apologizing on camera, heartbroken, has gotten Holy Ghost filled, and has actually shown some serious compassion over the situation, he's a POS in my book. I don't care nothing about him. And he better hope the Most High don't take him out afterwards, because you reap what you sow. That's why I don't understand this whole sacrifice game. I'm like, I don't know what Satan is telling them, but according to Jehovah's laws, honey, you live by the sword, you die by the sword. If that's what you really was doing that night was sacrificing people, you got it coming. Satan ain't got it like that. He can only promise you so much. But your day is coming. So, Satanist or not, I would never have any respect for that man again. I hope that even secular people see that, cut him off completely. Don't ever listen to him again. And people, they're very biased and picky with which abominations they want to give grace to. Travis Scott is responsible for people dying. He did nothing to prevent or to help and protect these people's lives that were perishing at his concert. And R. Kelly is literally raping and molesting little girl underage women. And people are like, well, I'm still going to listen to his music. People are so full of... This is what gets me. So would you still be listening to R. Kelly's music if it was your daughter? Answer that. If it was your 3-year-old toddler, Or your 13-year-old daughter, would you still be, I'm going to bump R. Kelly. I'm going to listen to, well, I got married to his, yeah, you got married to his music. You danced to his new album at your anniversary and he just raped your 14-year-old daughter. You still going to listen to him? It's just like, okay, so now we have a raper, a rapist, and a child molester, a sex trafficker, and now we have a murderer who potentially sacrificed these people, but that's not going to be, that can't be proven, so allegedly. It's like, okay, at what point, my thing is like, okay, I understand your love for music, but at some point you have to draw a line in righteousness. Like, at what point do we stop supporting these people? What they got to do? Kill your kid next? It's okay if it's other people's daughters and children, but until he actually physically touches your own blood, it's not a problem. We just love the music. This is why I don't feel bad for your death. If you are next to go and you're the kind of person with that kind of mentality, I don't feel sorry for you. You don't care about anybody else's life or spiritual quality of life, and you clearly don't care about your own. I'm not going to shed no tears for you. And the people whose children died, God, this reminds me of a dream the Lord gave me. You sacrificed your own children to these musicians. That's how I feel about that. You're not guarding their spirit. You're not being you weren't a good steward over your children. It may hurt to eat something like that. It's bittersweet, or maybe just all bitter because your child is probably gone, but you sacrificed your child to these people. No loving parent, even if they weren't a godly Christian one, which I hope to God they are, because that's what it's going to take, just a sound, respectable, noble mother or father, take one look at these lyrics. Even if it was, some music is just, it just doesn't have substance. It may not even be saying anything bad. The music is just, there's no point to it. There's no value. How is this benefiting my child? Is this making him more smart? Is this respectable music? Like, if it's just noise, I'm not going to let my child listen to it. So you have too many parents in this generation that they're just comfortable letting their kids do anything just so they can be free. Okay, if you're not a steward over your kids and you're not watching things like this, like who they're listening to, where they're investing their money, there were teenagers at this concert. Then Satan's going to steward your children through his disciples, which are these musicians. I feel no ways about it. You sacrificed your kids. The date was set for their death because you chose to be a failure in your stewardship over your children and who they choose to listen to and who they give their time and energy to. I still will never understand why people listen to this trash. I will never get it. These trash rappers, like what, it sounds like absolute garbage. I mean, at least pop in some J. Cole. And I don't even trust him at this point because he didn't look like he done converted over too. But rappers that have actual substance, that talk about meaningful things, not just people that sound good. I mean, quality rap. I mean, if you want to listen to that, I would at least say pull out J. Cole or something, You're listening to Travis Scott and Chief Keef and all the other one, the Migos. All they do is mumble, and it's like, no, this is like music is destroyed. Like, you know what? That's my 2 cents on that. I don't want to keep repeating myself. I don't feel any way about it. I feel like we witnessed something happen in the world with worldly people. You chose death and destruction. You're following somebody like Travis Scott. You put yourself in an environment and a situation where you had the potential to be harmed and you were harmed. And you died. That's how I feel about that. I think it's a distraction, honestly. I mean, somebody said something in their video that I actually agreed with, which was they're reporting that this happened at Travis Scott's concert, but they don't talk about all the similar things that may happen at these, metal bands and rock artist concerts, which is a lot more demonic. And I said, well, that's true. So you probably have a lot of people that just die and are injured and maimed from a lot of different types of music and concerts. That's why I said I don't really feel bad. I mean, it's not just towards Travis Scott in this situation. I just feel that way in general. I just don't understand why anybody would go to a mosh pit concert. Have y'all seen mosh pits? I used to be a part of that culture. I never actually was involved in one. I used to glorify it because of the music I listened to, but I watched a few YouTube videos on mosh pits and I just feel like you're asking to die. I mean, you're basically getting thrown in the lion's den. If that's fun to you, if that's exciting to you, like I said, most people go to concerts high and drunk. They trying to have a good time. And it's like, okay, well, just expect to die as well. Like, I don't feel bad about stuff like that. If you cared about your life and the quality of your spirit, it just, you wouldn't have gone in the first place. You wouldn't have been there. My child would have been there. So, a lot of worldly people sacrificing their children to the enemy, sacrificing their children to the world, letting them watch satanic filth on TV, letting them listen to demonic music, and letting them just, I say you give your children over to the world because you're not stewarding them from it. So you're just kind of letting them go their own way with no real guidance, blind eyes, no spiritual discernment. They are prey for the enemy in any capacity. I mean, okay, so it happened. What'd you expect? They're saying it was more people that died. They're not telling the truth. It wasn't just 8, which I'm sure it wasn't just 8. Stop playing with Satan. These musicians are his disciples at this point. They don't care about you. Music is their bait. They're basically sirens leading you to your death. You can't love music that much to just walk to your death. No. And if you love rap and you just like real quality music, I really advise you to look up some underground artists who are really genuinely talented, who actually talk about substance, that aren't really too famous or anything, and find you somebody you can relate to. Find you some good Christian rap or something. But these people, they're already brain dead themselves. I'm sure there's a lot of rappers, like him especially, who just went ahead and probably did covenant just to get money, and they don't even have quality at this point. At this point, Satan's just using anybody to just sing and rap to y'all to just ensnare you. They don't even have talent, just to get you distracted. Oh, you can't sing, you can't rap, you're not attractive either. Well, we can figure something out, in the studio. We can get you a really good beat, get you a really good record. All you gotta do is mumble over it. As long as it sounds good, you'll have the people's attention, And are you willing to deceive them and talk about a whole bunch of garbage? You can get, I mean, that's basically what you get. A Happy Meal. Well, a not so happy meal from McDonald's. That's what you're getting. It's not a coincidence that you have these rappers and these celebrities doing like these fast food restaurant deals for like McDonald's and Meg the Stallion. I think she has something with McDonald's. I'm like, do you know that McDonald's is like the lowest food quality, just food grade, the stuff that's come out about McDonald's, and look at the quality of celebrities that you have promoting it. Because they're trash just like the food is. Why do you have celebrities promoting fast food restaurants like McDonald's? As if people don't know this stuff isn't real food. Like what's the purpose behind that? So I don't feel bad. I feel like the music industry has exposed themselves several times. I don't think they're hiding much at this point. I think they probably feel the same way I do. If y'all want to be stupid and continue to give us your money and continue to open yourself up to us spiritually, knowing that we admittedly told you we're witches, that's your problem. That's how I feel about it. If you see them doing something questionable and you don't trust it, just stay away and stop supporting them. It's that simple. So that's my 2 cents on that. Y'all have a good night.